Good evening, and welcome to Modern Debates. Today we are discussing a topic that affects almost everyone in the world. Is the internet a positive influence on society? It connects us, teaches us, and entertains us, but it also brings new challenges and difficult questions about its role in our lives. Here to discuss the topic, we have two excellent guests. Leo is a tech educator and blogger who believes the internet is a powerful force for good. Welcome, Leo.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. I'm happy to be here.
And Dr. Evelyn Reed is a sociologist and author who has written about the challenges the internet presents to our social structures. Welcome, Dr. Reed.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
We'll start with opening statements to understand your main positions. Leo, you have the floor.
Thank you. I truly believe the internet is one of the most wonderful inventions in human history, and it has changed our world for the better in three important ways. First, it gives us incredible access to information. Think about it for a moment. If you want to learn a new language, you can download an application on your phone. If your kitchen sink is broken, you can watch a video that shows you exactly how to fix it. You can even take courses from the best universities in the world, often for free. Before the internet, this kind of knowledge was only available to a small number of people who could afford it, or had access to large libraries. Now it is for everyone. This makes it a very powerful tool for education and for creating a more equal society. Second, the internet connects people and builds a global village. Families and friends who live in different countries can see and talk to each other every day with video calls. We can also meet people from different cultures, learn about their lives, and share our own experiences. This helps us understand the world better and can make us more open-minded and tolerant. It creates friendships and communities that were never possible before. Finally, the internet has created amazing economic opportunities. Small businesses can now build a website and sell their products to customers all over the world, not just in their local town. People looking for work can find jobs more easily through websites and professional networks like LinkedIn. It has created completely new jobs and industries that did not exist 20 years ago. The internet is not perfect, but its ability to educate, connect, and create opportunity makes it a huge positive influence on our society.
Thank you, Leo, for that optimistic start. Now, for a different perspective, let's hear from Dr. Evelyn Reed.
Thank you, Sarah. Leo has made some good points, and I agree that the internet has benefits. However, I believe we are often so excited about the good things that we are not paying enough attention to its serious negative effects. My biggest concern is the spread of misinformation, or what many people call fake news. Today, anyone can post anything online, and it can travel around the world in minutes. This isn't just about small, unimportant lies. False information about health, for example, can be very dangerous if people believe it and refuse real medical treatment. False information about politics can damage our society, create anger between groups, and destroy our trust in important institutions like the government or journalism. It is becoming very difficult for the average person to know what is true and what is not. Next, I worry a lot about our mental health. Social media platforms in particular encourage us to compare our lives with the lives of others. People usually only post their best moments, their exciting holidays, their new car, their perfect family photos. We see a perfect, unrealistic version of their lives. This can make us feel that our own normal lives are not good enough, which can cause anxiety, low self-esteem, and sadness. This is especially a problem for teenagers and young adults. Finally, I believe the internet can make us feel more lonely, not more connected. We spend hours looking at our screens instead of having real, face-to-face conversations. We are losing our ability to talk to people in person, to read their body language, to understand their feelings, and to build strong, deep relationships. An online friend you have never met is not the same as a real friend who can sit with you when you are sad or celebrate with you when you are happy. Our local, real-world communities are getting weaker because of this. So, while the internet looks like a shiny, wonderful tool, we must be very careful. It is changing our society in ways that are not always positive, and we need to be more honest about that.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You both have strong and clear arguments. Let's begin our discussion. Leo, Dr. Reed talked about the serious problem of misinformation. If the internet is full of lies, how can we truly see it as a positive tool for education?
That's a very important question, and I don't want to pretend that misinformation isn't a real issue. It is. But the solution is not to turn off the internet, or to see the entire system as negative. The solution is education. We need to teach people from a young age how to be good digital citizens. This means teaching them to think critically about what they see online. We can teach them simple methods to check sources, to ask questions like, who wrote this? Why did they write it? And is this information available on other trusted websites? Remember, libraries also have books with incorrect or outdated information. We don't close libraries because of that. We teach people how to find the good books and how to do proper research. The internet is the same. It's a huge library, and we need to learn how to use it wisely. The problem is not the tool itself, but how we use it. We have to take responsibility for our own learning.
I understand your point about education, Leo, but I think that view is too simple. This fake news is not like an old book with a few mistakes. It is often created to be very persuasive. It uses strong emotional language and powerful images that are designed to trick our brains. Even very smart, well-educated people can be fooled by this kind of content, because it targets our feelings, not our logic. Also, the social media companies themselves are part of the problem. Their computer programs, the algorithms, learn what we like, what we click on, and what makes us angry or happy. They then show us more and more of the same kind of information. This creates something called an echo chamber, where we only hear opinions that are the same as our own. This is not educating people. It is dividing them and making it easier for misinformation to spread within a group.
So you believe the companies have a responsibility to change their algorithms?
Absolutely. Their business model is based on keeping our attention for as long as possible. Often, the most shocking, angry, or surprising content is the best way to do that. They need to change their priority from attention to accuracy and safety.
I agree that companies have a role to play, but I also think we are seeing a positive change. Many platforms now add warning labels to possible misinformation or have links to correct information. It shows that they are listening. But ultimately, I believe in personal responsibility. We, the users, have the final power. We can choose what to read, what to believe, and what to share.
That's a fascinating point about where responsibility lies. Dr. Reed, I want to ask you about something else you said earlier. You talked about social isolation and loneliness. Leo described the internet as a, quote, global village that connects us. How can both of these ideas be true at the same time?
It's a great question because it shows the complexity of this issue. Online connections can feel real, but they are often not as deep or meaningful as our relationships in the real world. When you are online, you communicate with text, or maybe a small video on a screen. You cannot see the other person's full body language. You cannot feel the energy in the room. You cannot give them a hug when they are upset. We are starting to prefer easy online chats instead of more difficult but more rewarding real-life conversations. Because of this, we are losing important social skills. So yes, we may have more friends online, but we may also be more lonely in our daily lives because the quality of our connections is getting worse.
I see it differently. For many people, online communities are incredibly important and offer very high-quality connections. Think about someone who lives in a small town and has a rare hobby, like collecting 19th century stamps. They might be the only person in their town with that interest. Online, they can find thousands of people who share their passion. That is a powerful connection that the internet makes possible. Or think about a person with a disability or a serious illness who cannot easily leave their house. The internet can be their main source of social connection and support. It provides a community for people who might feel very isolated in the physical world. It is not a replacement for real life, but but it is a wonderful addition to it. It gives a voice and a community to people who might not have one otherwise.
But are those online communities always safe? We hear terrible stories about cyberbullying and online harassment, which can have tragic consequences. People, especially young people, can be attacked by anonymous users. This is a kind of cruelty that is more difficult in face-to-face interactions because you see the person you are hurting.
Bullying is a serious problem, online or offline. And you are right, the anonymity of the internet can make some people act horribly. This is why moderation and clear rules on platforms are so important. But for every negative story, there are thousands of positive ones. There are support groups that save lives. There are crowdfunding campaigns where strangers help a family pay for medical bills. The internet shows us the best of humanity too.
Let's talk about the economic impact. Leo, you mentioned new jobs and opportunities. Dr. Reed, do you see a downside to the internet's influence on our economy?
Yes, I do. While it's true that some people and small businesses have benefited, we must also look at who has lost. The internet has destroyed many traditional businesses. Local bookshops, travel agencies, and music stores have closed because they cannot compete with large online companies like Amazon. This means less choice for consumers and lost jobs in our local communities. Also, the gig economy, where people work as freelance drivers or delivery people using an app, often offers very little security. These workers don't have benefits like health insurance or paid holidays. It creates a new class of working poor with very uncertain futures.
I believe that is a temporary problem as our economy adjusts to new technology. In the past, the invention of the car put people who made horse carriages out of business. But it created millions of new, better jobs in making cars, building roads, and so on. The internet is the same. It is changing the job market, and some jobs will disappear. But new jobs we cannot even imagine today, will be created. It encourages innovation and efficiency, which is good for the economy in the long run.
But the main difference is that a few giant tech companies now have enormous power and wealth. The 5 largest tech companies are richer than many countries. This concentration of power is not healthy for our economy or our democracy.
We are almost out of time. This has been a very important discussion. I would like to ask you both for a short closing statement. Leo, let's start with you.
The internet is a tool, and like any powerful tool, it has risks. A hammer can be used to build a house or to break a window. We should not let fear of the risks stop us from seeing the amazing benefits. The potential for education, for global connection, and for economic opportunity is incredible. Our job is not to reject the internet, but to learn how to use it better. We need to work together, companies, governments, and users, to build a safe, positive, and inspiring digital world for the future. The journey has just begun, and I am very optimistic about where it will take us.
Thank you, Leo. And Dr. Reed, your final thoughts?
We cannot ignore the problems the internet is causing in the real world. It is affecting our mental health, our personal relationships, and the health of our democracy. We need to be more mindful and ask if our time online is really making our lives better. We need stronger rules and regulations for tech companies to make them more responsible for the content on their platforms and the impact they have on society. It is not about stopping progress. It is about being responsible and putting the well-being of people first. We must control the technology, not let the technology control us.
Thank you, Leo and Dr. Reed, for a very interesting and important discussion. You have given us all a lot to think about. The internet is clearly a complex part of our modern world, with both great advantages and serious challenges. It is a conversation we must continue to have. Thank you for watching Modern Debates. Good night.